NNPCL says no assurance of cheaper fuel from Dangote refinery amid price hike. 10 kidnapped maritime travelers freed. Presidential spokesman Ajuri Ngilali steps down, takes indefinite leave. On the foreign scene, West Africa floods displaced nearly 1 million people. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's News Hour. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Now the news. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has denied claims that it is responsible for the recent hike in premium motor spirit commonly called petrol in the country. The company said the pricing of petroleum products from any refinery, including the Dangote Refinery Limited, is determined by global market forces, stating that there is no guarantee of lower prices associated with domestic refining of the products in the country. The NNPCL said this on Saturday in reaction to rumors it is attempting to monopolize the offtake of all products from the Dangote Refinery Limited. In the statement titled, NNPCL Limited, not the sole off-taker, market open to lower prices from any domestic refinery. The Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPCL Limited, Olufemi Shoneye, debunks claims by the Muslim rights concern Murik that the Dangote Refinery Limited is being undermined by actions of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. The NNPCL said it cannot undermine a business in which it holds a $1 billion stake. Residents of Birnin Kebbi, the Kebbi state capital, have decried the surge in transportation fares and other goods and services following the recent increase in the price of fuel. Trust TV's Omotola Adebisi, who sent in the report is presented from our studio, says life is gradually becoming unbearable as most people cannot afford basic necessities of life. The report.
The announcement by President Tinubu on 29th of May 2023 during his inauguration that subsidy was gone led to an astronomical increase in prices of commodities across the country, with Kebbi State not spared. According to a report by the National Bureau of Statistics, the national average petrol price was 750 naira in April 2024. Kebbi State is said to be among the top 10 states in Nigeria where petrol prices are high. However, with the recent increase in petrol prices by the NNPCL, petrol is now sold in Kebbi between 1,000 naira to 1,200 naira per litre, while it is sold at NNPCL mega station at 904 naira per litre. This has further put more pressure on the economy, leading to the higher cost of transportation and low patronage by travelers, especially now that students are returning to school.
We buy petrol between the price range of 1,000 to 1,300 naira, but at NNPCL stations, we buy at 904 naira. It has affected our business because you can wait for 1 or 2 days before it gets to your turn.
Fuel increment is completely destroying the Nigeria. It's in totality, the total destruction by the federal government. Because what we are expecting is not this. What the government promised us is not this. We thought when Dangote's refinery start functioning, we are going to get oil at cheaper rate. Now the oil is in the country, dismantling in the country, refining in the country, but yet the price double. And the government just wake up and just announce the increase. So we don't even know what really is going on in the oil sector.
It's affected everybody. It's not only me, myself. It's affected almost everybody here. As you can see here, we are traveling to Sokoto. Before there is 4,000, now it's 5,000. So you see, this situation, we don't know where we are going to. What I'm saying to the government, let the government look back to the massive to reduce this fuel price, because as far as fuel price is hike, everything is going off.
Another critical area that will be affected is the agricultural sector, especially dry season farming, which depends largely on petrol to pump water for irrigation. The increase in fuel price will definitely lead to an increase in the prices of food commodities, especially rice, by next year. Residents are calling on the government to address the issue of fuel prices by reducing the pump price to ease the sufferings of Nigerians.
We go to the southwest, where in Osun State, the people are lamenting at the current fuel scarcity in the country is making life difficult for them, while also disrupting their means of livelihood. After spending several hours at fueling station and yet unable to buy fuel due to long queues, the residents of Osogbo appealed to the federal government to deal with the situation. Hamid Oyegbade completes the report.
Majority of filling stations in Osogbo, Osun State capital, and other towns in the state are not selling petrol. In few petrol stations that are selling in Osogbo, there were long queues and the price is from 945 naira and 1,200 naira. The residents said the fuel scarcity has crippled their businesses, threatened their means of livelihood, while subjecting them to hardship.
The scarcity is biting very hard here. It's so unfortunate that even at 9:45 that NIPO is selling here, we are still unable to get this commodity. It is not available and it is expensive. So I don't know if the government can please look into this and see a situation whereby, one, there is availability and then the price is reviewed downward. Buying fuel at 9:45, from marketers like this, or even 8:55 from NNPCL is unsustainable.
Well, it's a serious thing. It's a big ordeal for Nigerians. You're not finding it easy at all. I've been here for almost 5 hours, but I couldn't get fuel. And then I want to advise the government, they should do something about it. They should make fuel available as soon as possible because Nigerians are really suffering.
Things are getting worse. We have been looking for fuel, queue on the filling station. The price is high everywhere. No fuel. From one filling station to another, it's very difficult to buy. Considering to the price, it's difficult. On the queue, it's difficult. So I can plead to the government to consider the people of the country.
The residents called on federal government to take necessary steps to ensure availability of petrol at cheaper price. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
In Lagos State, residents have decried the inability of farmers to transport newly harvested farm produce to markets in the state due to the cost of transportation. The fares have surged in the last couple of days due to the recent increase in the pump price of fuel, leaving many residents unable to access basic food items. Victoria Tokolo, who visited the Ajebori market in Lagos, has more in this report, which is presented from our studio.
At Ajebori Ogbon Market in Lagos State, the ongoing fuel scarcity is significantly affecting the prices of food items, particularly grains. Although the current price tags are yet to reflect the full impact of the fuel scarcity, it is only a matter of time before the recent fuel prices hike leads to an increase in costs. For now, the prices of old stock still remain stable at the market. However, the new farm produces, particularly grains, are facing serious distribution challenges due to the fuel scarcity in the country. With food items in Lagos State such as beans, groundnut, millet, maize and garri sourced from other states, the transportation of these food items to Lagos is becoming increasingly expensive as trailer drivers have adjusted their changes to make up for the higher fuel and diesel cost.
This new groundnut normally be around 7,000, 75,000, but now it's 150,000 naira. Then beans now have increased again. Like now, big bag is around 300,000 naira, 320,000 naira. While you see drum around 260. So there's nothing changed. But within a short time, the recent increase will still hit the beans. Then the price will still go up because these ones are still at the former price of transportation.
There are varieties of beans, like we have drum, oloni, olo, and pelebe, with other minor varieties. But the basic variety we have is oloni and drum and olo. Then now, the big bag of drum at this moment is 240,000. That is for the one of 160 derica. While the small bag is being sold here at 120,000 120,000 naira.
Other traders and buyers also gave their perspective on how the fuel scarcity in the state is affecting food prices.
Actually, things are getting out of hand. We are seeing it very difficult now. Like this red garlic, we used to sell it about 15,000 before, but now we are getting it at the rate of 38,000. We sell it at 39.40.
The price is not conducive for us because you cannot afford to buy food at all. Since the increasing of fuel, the market already has been increased. So we find it difficult to even eat twice in a day.
In the past, when newly harvested food items hit the market, prices automatically drops. However, due to the current fuel scarcity in the state, despite the arrival of new farm products, prices have continued to rise, making many worry over their ability to afford basic food items.
The Edo state government has announced an indefinite postponement of resumption of all schools in the state following the hike in fuel price. The government announced this in a memo signed by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Ojo Akinlonge, in Benin on Saturday. The Permanent Secretary said the resumption, scheduled for September 9, was postponed until further notice. Ojo urged parents, guardians and caregivers to monitor the activities of their children and wards closely given the current situation and the rising tension caused by the fuel price hike. And security matters, 10 maritime travelers who were abducted along the Port Harcourt waterway earlier this week have regained their freedom. The police authorities had pledged to investigate the incident and rescue the victims, but a source confirmed the victims' release on Saturday. Said 10 of the travelers were abandoned by the abductors when they noticed that operators of the Nigeria Navy's Forward Operations Base FOB Bonny were searching for them. The source within the FOB Bonny, who doesn't want to be quoted, said operatives of the base had been tracking the kidnappers since it was reported, adding that intense intelligence led to their captors fleeing and abandoning them along the Onne Channel. The victims were taken to the base for medical checkups, after which they were reunited with their various families. Over in Plateau State, the police command has paraded a 16-year-old boy, Miracle Igwebike, of Tudunwada community in Josno local government area of the state for allegedly assaulting 3 teenagers in the area. The suspect was paraded on Friday alongside 17 others suspected to have committed various crimes at the headquarters of the State Police Command. Adomusa tells us more in this report.
The State Police Commissioner, Emmanuel Adeshina, while parading the suspect, said the arrest followed a report lodged at the A Division Police Station by parents of the victims that the suspect had been having carnal knowledge of their daughters. Speaking to journalists at the command, the 16-year-old boy confessed to the crime, but also claimed he was lured into the act by a 38-year-old woman who had been having intercourse with him for over 2 years.
She was coming back from work at the corner, like our compound is like a passage, to go to our bathroom side. That is the corner of her own room. So it was in that place that she stayed, and she was busy pressing my manhood. I didn't talk, so she followed me with bucket to the place I used to fetch water. So, and she was busy touching me there. As she finished fetching the water, I come back. I came to urinate in our bathroom. It was in the place that she followed me. Then she now have an intercourse with me.
Mrs. Banka Dombin, a woman alleged to have been having carnal knowledge of the 16-year-old boy, was also paraded.
The truth of the matter is that I know that I had something with this boy, but I was not the one that molested him or show him how to know a woman. This one that is saying, as I do it with him.
How old?
It is that the brother said that I know his age. He said he's 16 years old.
One Umar Adam, who kidnapped 2 teenagers and was arrested after collecting 1.5 million naira as ransom, was also paraded. He admitted to having kidnapped the victims. I kidnapped 2 teenagers and held them in an uncompleted building. After collecting 1.5 million naira as ransom, I was on my way to release them when suddenly people apprehended me. This is my first time of committing kidnapping. I beg the government to please show mercy on me. Earlier, the State Commissioner of Police also briefed journalists about a case involving a kidnap syndicate terrorizing the Shandong local government general area.
Reports revealed the activities of some syndicates of motorcycle snatchers operating around the area of Shandong local government area. Upon the receipt of the intelligence report, operatives of the command were mobilized and they moved to the area. Consequently, one at the Yar'Adua Abubakar, also known as Leggy, male of Angwan Makira village in the Mokat district of Shandong, was arrested.
The police commissioner said, upon conclusion of the investigation, all suspects will be charged to court. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now, the special advisor to the President Bola Tinubu on media and publicity, Ajurin Gelali, has proceeded on an indefinite leave of absence. Gelali said the decision was taken after significant consultations with his family over the past days as a vexatious medical situation had worsened. He made this known in a statement issued on Saturday, adding that he has sent a memo to the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila. Gelale explained that he has also stepped down as the Special Presidential Envoy on Climate Action and Chairman of the Presidential Steering Committee on Project Evergreen. The leave of absence implies that he would temporarily suspend his duties as spokesperson to President Bola Tinubu. In political matters, Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State has dissolved the Local Government Transition Implementation Committee administration across the 17 local government areas of the state. The Director of Press and Public Affairs, Gyang Beri, disclosed this in a statement on Saturday. According to Beri, the governor directed directors of personnel management to assume responsibility for the administration of the council areas until the elections are held on October 9, 2024, to fill the positions. Governor Mutfwang also commended the Transition Committee Chairman for their exemplary leadership and dedication to advancing developmental projects that have directly impacted their communities while serving as Transition Implementation Committee Chairman. He expressed satisfaction in their accomplishments and urged them to continue offering valuable counsel to promote peace and unity within the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and Plateau State. The Transition Committee was constituted in June 2023 following the dissolution of elected local government council officials by Governor Mutfwang. This is News Hour on Trust TV. Still to come. Houses, shops, farms submerged as heavy rains hit Maiduguri. More, and when we return, please do stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Now a recap of our top stories. NNPCL says no assurance of cheaper fuel from Dangote refinery amid price hike. And we informed you that 10 kidnapped maritime travelers freed. To more stories, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says it would appeal an order issued by Justice Issa Dashan of the Federal High Court in Bayelsa State against the Commission's chairman Ola Olukoyede. Justice Dashan stated that Olukoyede risks imprisonment for allegedly refusing to comply with a ruling in a suit filed against the EFCC by Bliss Multinational Perfection and the Chief Executive Officer of Baraza Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited, Onyemaebi Bribena. The judge declared the seizure and sealing of the company's properties and those of Bribena by the EFCC as unlawful, stating they were not proceeds of crime. But in a statement issued on Friday by the EFCC, Spokesman Dele Oyewale, the commission said it had not been informed of the judgment date. Oyewale, the anti-graft agency's head of media and publicity, expressed surprise at the order, explaining that the lack of notification amounted to a denial of fair hearing in the case. Oyewale noted that the defendants had been investigated and indicted for investment fraud amounting to 2 billion naira, affecting over 123 victims. The Nigerian police force has clarified that President Bola Tinubu did not extend the tenure of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. The force said instead the president gave his approval to the law governing the tenure of the office as required. In a statement on Friday, force spokesperson Muyiwa Dejobi said the IGP's appointment is for 4 years, as contained in his appointment letter dated 3rd November 2023, in accordance with the provisions of sections 215 subsection A and section 28C of the third schedule of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. According to Adejobi, the IGP does not need to lobby for any tenure extension, as he has yet to use the years stated in his appointment letter. Heavy rains in the Maiduguri, capital of Borno State, has left several houses and shops submerged, sacking several residents from their homes. The flood also affected farms in Goza, Biu, Bama, and Dikwa council areas after wreaking havoc in other parts of the state. Trust TV's Bitu Security has more.
Vehicular and human traffic along the axis of Gwenge Street within the capital city of Maiduguri has been slowed down. This followed the recent flood that submerged shops and houses close to the main road. The heavy flow of water passing under the bridge swept through thousands of houses in the communities of Gwenge, Sabongari, Fori, among others, forcing residents to now rely on canoes to access their homes, with few able to evacuate their properties. The disaster didn't spare some local governments like Bama, Biu, Goza, and Dikwa, where houses and farmlands were destroyed. The flood is coming a day after the Borno state government delegation was at the Alau Dam, rumored to have collapsed and overflowing into Maiduguri and Jere local government.
The dam has not broken down. It is actually the damaged parts that is overspilling, but at the same time, even when it overspills, the river behind us, River Yetsaram, is where the water drains into.
Environmental experts attributed the disaster to heavy rainfalls and the effects of climate change, which needs immediate action.
Plant more trees, protect more trees, nurture more trees to maturity, cut down our carbon emission, check our carbon footprint, as well as be mindful of our developmental activities. We have to carry out environmental impact assessment. We have to carry out environmental audit. All this can help in mitigating climate change and desertification in the environment.
It's associated with changing rainfall patterns, and then of course flooding, which is one of them, extreme weather events like dust storms, flooding, windstorms, and so on and so forth. And even in residential areas, there's need for us to begin to look at our drainages, see how we can evacuate these drainages, and see how we can enforce that environmental awareness, where people will get to understand that it is not proper to dump their waste along drainage channels. So once this is evacuated, our refuse channels are evacuated, the water will be able to flow easily.
There are fears that the rising water may affect more houses if action is not taken to avert further devastation. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
The Lagos state government has officially taken control of the popular Pelewura market in Lagos Island through its Urban Development Office and the Lagos Building Control Agency last Barker. The move marks the beginning of the market's planned demolition and reconstruction aimed at modernizing the facility. The redevelopment plan was earlier revealed by Governor Sanwo-Olu during the official presentation of compensation checks to victims of the Dusemu fire incident. The governor had assured traders that the government would not only demolish and rebuild the market, but also ensure that affected occupants are duly compensated. In a significant humanitarian effort aimed at alleviating food insecurity, Hadiza Umar Namadi, the wife of Jigawa State Governor, led a rice distribution program benefiting 1,200 vulnerable women across the state. The initiative, championed by the Office of the First Lady of Nigeria, Remi Tinubu, seeks to provide relief to disadvantaged communities struggling with the rising cost of living. Here's the report.
The event, which took place in Duse, the state capital, saw the distribution of rice and other essential food items to women from low-income households. This initiative is part of a broader national outreach spearheaded by Nigeria's First Lady to combat hunger and support women, particularly in rural and underserved areas. Speaking at the distribution event, Hadiza Umar Namadi expressed her gratitude for the support of the First Lady of Nigeria and highlighted the importance of such interventions in tackling food insecurity. She noted that the program aligns with the goals of the Nigerian government to uplift vulnerable groups and provide immediate relief to families in need.
The selection of beneficiaries across all local governments in Jigawa State underscores our dedication to reach in every corner of our state, ensuring that the support extended through this initiative is felt by families in both urban and rural areas. Each bag of rice distributed today symbolizes not just food on the table, but also the compassion and the solidarity that our government and its partners, including the First Lady's office, have for the people.
The beneficiaries of the program expressed deep appreciation for the initiative. For women like Aisha Suleiman, a resident of Duse, the food assistance came at a critical time.
As persons with disabilities, we are grateful to both the federal and state government for this gesture. They always remember us in such matters.
The Jigawa State government, led by Governor Umar Namadi, continues to support programs that target the most vulnerable citizens, particularly women and children. This distribution effort reinforced the state's commitment to alleviating poverty and promoting the well-being of its people.
On International Charity Day, over 50 orphans, primarily from internally displaced communities, were given books and uniforms by the Justice Development and Peace Commission in Yola to support their education. Speaking at the event, Catholic Bishop Stephen Dami Mamza of the Yola Diocese emphasized the Commission's commitment to aiding children from various camps, regardless of their faith. He urged religious organizations to step in and provide relief to struggling Nigerians facing economic hardships. Bishop Mamza expressed hope that the donation would inspire the children to stay resilient and use the resources to build brighter futures.
50 orphans, those that have nobody to, those that have very little people, they have no opportunities of somebody taking care of them adequately, so that we'll be able to give them something little as school is now about to start. And so that's why we call on those children to be here this morning, and they are both from the Christian faith and also from the Muslim faith, so that we will be able to give them something little as they begin school, so that it will be a source of motivation to them, so that even in their poverty, they should not be discouraged from going to school, because the biggest thing you can give somebody is education.
The Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, NCS Bashir Adini, has disclosed the seizure of illicit goods, military camouflage, including tramadol and other illicit drugs worth 31.2 billion naira by the area took command of the service on a port in Rivers State. The Comptroller General discloses at the Onne seaport in the state while displaying the seized illegally smuggled goods in 12 40-feet containers. He said the seizures were made in strict compliance with customs laws, particularly concerning concealment, false declaration, and the importation of prohibited items. Here's the report. The Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Bashiru Adeniyi, who expressed delight that trade facilitation is getting traction in Onne, said the repeated incidents of smuggling of illicit goods through the port is of grave concern to the nation's security. The customs boss explained that customs emphasis has been to promote initiatives that speaks to trade facilitation and economic development, expressing regret that criminal elements in the international supply chain are exploiting the nation's pro-trade stance to commit atrocities bordering on national security breaches.
The seizures on display include 1. A 40-footer container of 4,800 pairs of military/paramilitary camouflage rain boots and 67,320 pairs of various rubber footwear with a total duty paid value 943,040,000 naira.
Adeniyi condemned the continued violation of import guidelines by some individuals who were engaging the route for illicit businesses. He declared a 3-month emergency protocol at Onne Port to check the trend, adding that henceforth, Nigeria Customs will be conducting thorough examinations of all suspected containers.
Effective immediately, we will be implementing emergency protocols at Onne Port. For the next 3 months, we will be conducting very thorough examinations on all suspicious containers. Even if the owners do not come forward for examination, we will open these containers to verify their contents. This will be a temporary but necessary measure to clean up the port and restore its integrity.
He also urged the public to contribute their quota to security through information sharing.
We are therefore calling on all patriotic citizens to assist us in this crucial endeavor. We will need your help in providing credible intelligence regarding those that are behind these nefarious acts and their intentions.
The Comptroller General, however, assured the business community and legitimate importers on readiness to ensuring a safe and secure environment for genuine business activities to thrive. Former President Goodluck Jonathan on Saturday described the death of Hajiya Dada Yar'Adua, mother of late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, as a personal loss to him, stating that the late Dada technically made him who he is. Jonathan stated this in Katsina when he paid a condolence visit to the Yar'Adua family over the death of their matriarch. The former president, while addressing reporters, said he was on his way to Kigali, Rwanda, when he heard about the sad news, adding that as he returned to the country on Friday, he deemed it necessary to come to Katsina for the condolences. Late Dada, who was also the mother of late Shehu Musa Yar'Adua and Senator Abdulaziz Musa Yar'Adua, the senator representing Katsina Central Constituency and current chairman, Senate Committee on Army, died in the evening hours of Monday, September 2nd, 2024, after a brief illness at the Federal Teaching Hospital, Katsina. The acting governor of Oyo State, Bayo Lawal, has expressed disappointment at the perceived neglect and abandonment of the legacies and contributions of the late Pa Taiwo Michael Akinwumi, designer of the Nigerian flag. At Pa Akinwumi's funeral service held at the Obafemi Awolowo Stadium, there was a surprisingly low turnout despite Akinwumi's status as a national hero. Trust TV's correspondent reports that the sparse crowd was a stark contrast to the expected attendance. Here's the report.
It's been 372 days since Pa Taiwo Akinwumi, the designer of Nigerian national flag, passed away. The surprisingly low turnout at the funeral is a stark contrast to the outpour of grief and respect one would have expected for a national hero who made significant contributions to Nigerian national identity. There was also a noticeable absence of the high-ranking government officials, dignitaries and other prominent figures who would typically be expected to pay their last tributes to Pa Akikome. In his sermon, the General Secretary of the Gospel Faith Mission International, Pastor Solomon Olufemi, urged Nigerians to emulate the virtues of the late flagman and contribute their quota to national development through selfless service, irrespective of tribe or creed.
Papa Akikome did not hold any political office, but he left a legacy, and he contributed more importantly than many people who held offices. I say this to encourage us, every one of us as are seated here, and every Nigerian, to encourage us that you have a role in the development of your country.
Children of the deceased reflected on the life and times of their father and called for more attention to the plight and memories of the nation's heroes.
Last year, Babao passed on August 29, 2023, that all promises are made, but when they did not fulfill the promise, the family took the responsibility that we should do this thing on our own. But thank God that some people came up that this thing is government program, that we can't do it on our own. That's how they stop us not to do it. And ever since then, we did not hear anything. We did not, all the people that said that they did the promises, everything, all the thing that they said, is just zero upon zero.
There's a lot to take from him, right? Because he lived a life of, he's a lovely person. He's a very lovely person and always taught us how to love another. Because he's a very lovely person.
In his tribute, the acting governor of Oyo State acknowledged that the late Pa Akikome was a pride to Nigeria and urged the federal government to immortalize the memories of the late flag designer.
I want to throw a challenge to the federal government of Nigeria. This burial ceremony should not only be left in the hands of the family, in the hands of Oyo State government. It is indeed the project that the federal government should carry.
Today we celebrate the life of a true patriot whose contributions reach far beyond the borders of our individual experiences, uniting us all under the flag that tells our story as a country.
High point of the funeral service was the presentation of the Nigerian flag to the immediate family of the deceased flagman. Born on 10th of May 1936, Pa Akikome passed on the 29th of August 2023.
You're still on to Trust TV's News Hour. Up ahead, business, foreign and sports. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's get to business. The Central Bank of Nigeria has approved the sale of $20,000 each to Bureau de Change operators at the rate of 1,580 naira to a dollar in a bid to provide more forex liquidity in the market and meet demand. The Apex Bank discloses in a statement signed by its Director of Trade and Exchange Department, W.J. Kanya. The CBN noted that BDCs are to sell to eligible end users at a margin not above the 1% of the purchase rate of 1,580 naira to a dollar. The bank further directed interested BDCs to make payment to CBN deposit accounts with them. Still in business, the federal government on Friday issued a license to construct to UTM Offshore Limited for the development of a 2.8 million tons per annum floating liquefied natural gas facility. The historic project, the first of its kind in Nigeria, aligns with the government's ongoing efforts to boost gas production, distribution and utilization under the Decade of Gas initiative. At the official event, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekpedekpe Ekpo hailed the milestone as a reflection of President Bola Tinubu's vision to transform the country's gas industry. The floating facility to be constructed offshore is seen as a critical component of Nigeria's ambitious gas expansion plans. Ekpo reiterated the administration's commitment to ensuring that gas becomes a key driver of Nigeria's economy by 2030. He also praised the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority for its diligence in granting the license and commended UTM leadership for spearheading the bold initiative. Away from Nigeria, recent heavy rains and floods across Mali, Nigeria and Niger have forced nearly 950,000 people from their homes. An NGO, Save the Children, on Friday raised the alarm over the risk of disease, hunger from crop destruction and disruption to education that the situation incurs to the hundreds of thousands of children now displaced. While this is normal, the rainiest time of the year in West Africa, these year's rains have been more severe than usual. Widespread floods have affected 29 of Nigeria's 36 states, 3 Malian regions in the west and Gao in the northeast have been hit. In neighboring Niger, flooding has affected all 8 regions, and floods beginning in May washed away houses and leaving behind a threat of destruction. The Maritime region in the country's south, which was mostly hit, according to Save the Children, at least 460 people have been killed in the 3 countries. At least 18 children have died and 27 others have been hospitalized after a fire ripped through the dormitory at their primary school in central Kenya overnight on Thursday. Late on Friday, the death toll went up after one student died of injuries at the hospital. Police said the blaze at Hillside and Darasha Academy in Nyeri County broke out just after midnight on Friday, engulfing the dormitory where more than 150 boys between the ages of 10 and 14 were sleeping. Since most of the school's buildings are made using wooden planks, the fire spread very fast. With at least 70 children unaccounted for, local authorities expect the death toll to rise, although some of them might have gone home with families for the night. Deputy President Rigati Gachugua has urged community members who may have sheltered some of the children to bring them back so that they can be accounted for. Police spokesperson Rezila Oyango said they have opened investigations into the cause of the fire. President William Ruto has declared 3 days of mourning during which flags will be flown at half-mast in honor of the children who died.
We still have 70 kids that are unaccounted. But that does not mean that they are perished or they are injured. The word is that they are unaccounted for. We are praying and hoping for the best. And this is where I need to make an appeal. When this incident happened, some parents came here and took away their children, and they have not filed this report. I'm appealing to each and every parent who took their child from here to report the same. We'll give a number that is here by the International Red Cross and the school so that we know where that child is.
It's time for sports with Adeniyi Ajishafe.
Super Eagles of Nigeria secured a 3-0 victory over Benin Republic in their opening 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifier at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in New York on Saturday. Interim coach Augustine Guavoin, alongside his assistants Fidelis Lechuku and Daniel Ogumondede, made several strategic changes to the squad that previously lost 2-1 to Benin in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. Captain William Truss Ekong returned to the lineup, joined by Stanley Nwabali, Calvin Bassey, Shemi Ajayi Olaina, Bruno Yemechi, Wilfred Indidi, Alex Iwobi, Ademola Lukman, Samuel Chukwueze, and Victor Boniface. The game saw former Eagles coach Gano Rowe return to Nigeria for the first time, seeking another victory for the Cheetahs after defeating Nigeria 2-1 in the 2026 World Cup qualifier in Cote d'Ivoire in June. Europa League winner Ademola Lukman broke the deadlock for the Eagles with a classic goal, finding the back of the net in the second minute of first half stoppage time. In the second half, Super Eagles found it hard to add to their tally as the visitors pushed for equalizer. Galatasaray forward Victor Osimhen replaced Boniface in the 72nd minute and doubled Nigeria's lead with a well-timed finish assisted by Indidi in the 79th minute. Before Ademola Lukman scored the second of the game to give Nigeria a 3-0 lead minutes later. The win ended a 3-match winless streak for the Super Eagles and marked their biggest win since a 6-0 triumph over Sao Tome and Principe in September 2023. Nigeria heads to Kigali for their next group game against the Amavubis of Rwanda on 10 September 2024. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
Before we go, and on a sad note, it is with deep sorrow that we announce the sudden death of our colleague Ajibade Praise, a dedicated freelance reporter for Trust TV in Imo and Lagos. Ajibade passed away in Lagos in the early hours of Saturday.
That most of the problems being faced by Nigerians today are directly or indirectly connected to the corrupt practices of some political office holders.
Ajibade was a dedicated journalist, known for his passion and commitment to the craft.
For many residents of the state, it's been a roller coaster year for most of them. They complain of the hike in price of most commodity. They are calling on government at all levels to look into the situation and provide lasting solution.
In addition to his work with Trust TV, he works with Galaxy TV and ran his own media outlet, Prudent MS TV. His drive to tell impactful stories earned him widespread respect and commendation. Known for his unwavering commitment to journalism, Ajibade was a passionate storyteller who worked tirelessly to bring important news to the public. His dedication to the profession was unmatched. Ajibade leaves behind a loving wife and 4 children who, like all of us at Trust TV, are grieving this irreplaceable loss. His memory will live on in the work he so faithfully carried out. Adieu, Ajibade Praise, our officer.
May his soul rest in peace. And with that, we come to the end of News Update, News Hour at this time. For more news, programs, and documentaries, do want to follow us on our social media platform and on our YouTube live stream. For more of our, I am Chiamaka Nwafor.
Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.